The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning is Chicago Tribune columnist John Cass. And John, since race is so much the topic, particularly coming out of Tuesday night's debate, it is interesting to note something Joe Biden said back in 1975. Yes, that's how long he's been around. I do not buy the concept popular in the 60s, which said we have suppressed the black man for 300 years and the white man is now far ahead in the race for everything our society offers. In order to even the score, we must now give the black man a head start or even hold the white man back to even the race. I don't buy that. I don't feel responsible for the sins of my father and grandfather. I feel responsible for what the situation is today, for the sins of my own generation, and I'll be damned if I feel responsible to pay for what happened 300 years ago. I hope Reparation H, his running mate, doesn't get wind of this.
But the thing about Democrats is when a Republican says something like that, they can never live it down. When Democrats say it, then they cave and give the entire government over to the socialists if they get elected. That's called evolving, Dan. Don't you know about evolving?
An enterprising reporter or debate moderator may want to do their due diligence. And
those man and woman hours with the cake?
That's right, and come up with a question like this to put to Joe Biden to say, explain the evolution in your thinking from 40 years ago when I would say race relations were worse. I mean, certainly we were just a decade removed from the Civil Rights Act. The progress that's been made over the intervening 40 years. So that if you believe that in 1975, how is it you don't believe it today? For more on all things November 3rd related, we're pleased to be joined by David Bossie, president of Citizens United, 2016 deputy campaign manager to the Trump presidential campaign, co-author of the just-released Trump, America First, The President Succeeds Against All Odds. David, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Morning. And so what about this week and the development coming out of the Tuesday night's debate that sort of refocuses everything along the identitarians' racial lines, which is particularly troublesome and divisive?
Well, it certainly is, but that's the mainstream media's goal. The mainstream media's goal is to defeat Donald Trump. It was in 2016. It is today. They hate this president, and I truly believe this. The Democrat Party, Joe Biden, the mainstream media, they hate this president more than they love the country, and they're willing to do damage to our nation to defeat him. And it is just a terrible path they're leading us down. But Donald Trump's, he's tougher than the average bear, and he's going to win. But I got to tell you, on the racial issue, Joe Biden. It's just the gall of it all. But Joe Biden used to chum around with the segregationist leaders in the United States Senate. Senators Talmadge and Eastland and Bob Byrd. Senator Byrd was the leader of the KKK in West Virginia. He was called the Exalted Cyclops, if you can believe that that's a name of somebody in the leadership position. But that's who he chummed around with, hung out with, gave floor speeches together, ate dinner at each other's houses. That's the reason that Kamala Harris, his running mate, during the presidential primary debates, attacked Joe Biden for his racist past, attacked Joe Biden for those very senators that he used to chum around with. So this is not something that Joe Biden just gets to throw and not have come back at him. He has the criminal justice record of the '94 crime bill. This is a person who called African American men super predators, as the president said in the debate the other evening. This is the president's record on race of having the greatest economy for every segment of the population, including the African American and the Asian and the Hispanic populations of this world. President Trump doesn't do, segmented policies. He does policies that are great economic policies for all Americans. And what that means is a great economic policy is colorblind, and it raises all boats equally.
Well,
and that's why has done That's why he's done criminal justice reform. That's why he's done the opportunity zones. That's why he's done the financing of the historically black colleges and universities. His record on race is stunningly good.
But then why wasn't he clear? Why wasn't he more clear in the debate when asked about white nationalist groups, etc.? Clearly Wallace was running interference for Biden, but that doesn't that does not excuse the president. Why wasn't the president more clear? What's wrong? What happened?
I disagree with that. I totally disagree with you. I think that meaning I don't disagree with you. I disagree with the premise that he wasn't clear. If you go back and you watch or listen to that audio tape, when the president finds the cancel culture to be an incredibly frustrating thing. So Wallace is saying cancel somebody. Wallace is saying condemn somebody. And the president's like, I'll condemn whoever you want. Just name him. Give me a name. Give me a name. Who are you going to name? Come up with a name. I'll condemn him for you because you people, that's what you want. Okay? Nothing is ever good enough. So no matter what you say, no matter if last week you considered the KKK a terrorist organization just last week, and over the course of your presidency, you have done more to prove it, not just talk about it, but prove that you are in the corner of the African American community, and we're going to get more of the African American vote on November 3rd than we did in 2016. I can guarantee you that, and that's going to show again that these lies that are perpetrated it continues to be part of the frustration.
So he doesn't bear any responsibility. The president doesn't bear any responsibility for how that came out on the. Look, I'm not coming from the left. Okay, I'm a conservative, I know. But the president, in my view, bears responsibility. He didn't do it, and that's why he had to go on a friendly program, Hannity, last night and reiterate his record. Why didn't he do it there?
Well, look, it's. I'll be honest. Having been part of the debate prep team, okay, in 2016, being the person backstage with him against crooked Hillary Clinton, we would say those things to him when he would come off stage, and he would look at you and say, it's really easy to say that when you are standing there, but when you're standing here and you're under the Klieg lights and everything is happening at a speed of sound, it is really difficult because in hindsight, it's always easy to say that. It's always easy to say, well, it would have been better if you said this. Look, I agree that the president can answer questions better every single day of the week. He would agree with that. But it's life that he answered it the way he wanted to, and I have no problem. He is a fighter, and he was in a fight at that moment in time, and that's how he answered the question, and his record proved it. It's not that it's just the words.
Right. So David, let's go back to his record, because it seems pretty clear that some of that is not getting through, and so he's got 30 days, and now the additional complication of he and Melania testing positive for COVID. How does, as a former deputy campaign manager, the highest levels here of running an operation that sophisticated, how does he close the show to win a second term?
Yes, obviously it's a new challenge today. So first of all, I hope he shows no symptoms. I hope the First Lady shows no symptoms, and if that's the case, it's a little bit shorter time frame than if they actually get sick. As I think we all know by now, if they show no symptoms and they're asymptomatic, it's basically going to be 10 days in quarantine. Mm-hmm. If they show symptoms, then it could be, much longer, obviously. So we're going to have to adjust, which we always do. But this president's a fighter. As I said a minute ago, he's a fighter. He's going to be able to beat coronavirus and Joe Biden at the same time, because it's about the issues. It's all about the issues, and it's about whether people want higher taxes or lower taxes. Do they want more job-killing regulations or less? Do they want open borders or border security? Do they want anarchy in the streets and defunding the police, or do they want law and order? This is Ronald Reagan's bold colors, not pale pastels. That's what this election is, and that is why he's going to win. The president of the United States is on the side of the American people on issue after issue after issue. And so people could talk about his style. We had the same conversation after the first debate in 2016 with Hillary Clinton. The sky was falling. Paul Ryan was on audio tapes telling congressmen, "You're on your own. Spend for yourselves. Run
true.
for the hills."
Yeah, that's true.
Okay?
True.
So we've done this. We've seen this act before, and so I don't get flustered. We are a team that is going to put our shoulder to the grindstone, and we're going to meter out the next 35 days, and we're going to bring the pain to Joe Biden, and we're going to be on offense where we can, and we're going to fight for every single vote, and we're going to and Donald Trump's going to win, and we'll be ready. And the president, and look, here's the thing: if he has no symptoms, Joe Biden's not going to be able to get out of the second debate. Okay, so that's another big issue that'll still have to be dealt with. But even if they have to do it virtually, okay, where they can have their moderator who worked for Joe Biden make sure they manipulate the debate fully.
He is David Bossie, president of Citizens United, 2016 deputy campaign manager for the Trump campaign, co-author of the just-released Trump, America First, the President Succeeds Against All Odds. David, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me this morning.
Take care. And he joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.